I want to go through my favorite top 10 spooky Halloween movies. I love spooky movies. It is so much fun, especially around this season, and I wanted to go through my top 10. My only hiccup with this whole video is that I like them all equally. Like, seriously, I like them all so equally that it's really difficult for me to pick which one's going to be 1 or 2. So can y'all, when I tell y'all this, ignore the rating. This is not like how I feel about each one. Like, oh, she likes this one more, like that. No, I love them all like the same. But this is how it's coming to me in my head. So I think y'all kind of get what I'm saying. Like, this is what's coming to me. Just like each one that comes to me, I just like tell y'all. But my rating could be like, I could like either one. I love them all the same. So without further ado, let me go into it. Tell me in the comments if you have any more spookies that I missed. I love spooky movies. So let me know any that I've missed and that are really good. And I think, tell me what you think about the ones that I pick out too, because I have my own style of what I like, what I don't like, and I think mine's pretty interesting. So let us begin. Number 1, I say like number 1, Silent Hill. It is a masterpiece. I'm just saying, it's a masterpiece. And later on, I won't get it till November, which sucks, but I ordered a Silent Hill action figure, and it's Pyramid Head, and I cannot wait for it to come. I cannot wait. That's how much I love that movie. So let me get some of my milk right here. It's warm milk. It's from a different video. If you watch my other video, you'll know where it comes from. So yes, and the chocolate is still separated. Like, y'all gotta watch the other videos, a chocolate spoons video, and it was not very good. So either way, this is Halloween. So number 1 is Silent Hill. Silent Hill is the best movie ever. I'm sorry, I do have a rating. Silent Hill is the best movie ever. It is the best. It's so spooky. And I don't really want to go into descriptions about each movie because they'll take too long, and I don't want this video to be super long. But either way, I'll do a quick description. It's about a young girl who was done dirty by a certain church in a town called Silent Hill. And because she was done dirty, her soul became like really like upset and like almost like demonic-ish, and she locks those people's souls in a perpetual nightmare. And her mother, but she sends her child self out into the world to still live her life. And so she gets adopted mother and all that good stuff. And one day the adopted mother takes her adopted daughter back into the town that the little girl came from, which is still smoldering and full of smoke, and it's still messed up, and nobody lives there. And then she gets stuck in Silent Hill, and Silent Hill is its own nightmare where we got Pyramid Head, and it's an old movie, so I'm sure you probably already know it already, but it's a classic now. And all this is basically trying to get, it's basically a story about revenge. And in the end, the little girl gets her revenge on that church who did her dirty, because they killed her because her mother like had her out of wedlock. They were so evil, so nasty, and it was just they were wicked people. And she gets her revenge on them, and it's so cool. And throughout the whole thing, you get some special effects that's awesome, that you got some monsters that I still haven't seen ones as scary as Silent Hills. The nurses scene is a legend. Awesome movie. 10 out of 10. Love it so much. Part 2, let's not go there. So let's just not go there. The nurses scene in part 2 is pretty good, but that's it. That's all. Let's not go there. So number 2 will be 13 Ghosts. 13 Ghosts was spectacular. Another oldie for me. It is about a house, like it's a glass like house, and it is so cool. It's traps 13. It's got 13 ghosts in it to try to open up this portal, and it's been a while since I've seen this movie, but I absolutely loved it. And each ghost was so unique. What I loved about it was again the monsters in it were so unique and so creepy, and it was just like different. They all had their own backstory, like the jackal and the whatever. I can feel the mother and son, and they all had their own like spooky doopy that's the word now. They all had their own like backstory, and that's what I loved about it the most. Was that movie was really good. Number 3, Cabin in the Woods. If you like 13 Ghosts, Cabin in the Woods is really, really similar to 13 Ghosts. It is, again, it's like each monster has its own story. That's about us, a group of kids. Kind of like, it's kind of a, in my opinion, it's kind of a comedy. Not comedy, but it's kind of funny too. Because it pokes fun at all the spooky movie cliches of, you know, how the kids get the warning, but they still go to the woods. They still go to that cabin. And they don't even know how they got the trip even started. You got like the crazy, you know, girl who likes, you know, she's a little loose, you know, she likes to like have fun. And you got the other girl who's like the smart girl. You got the guy who's kind of like a stoner, and it's like all the spooky. Oh, if you like Thor, he's in it too. And it's got like all the spooky people in it, and you gotta pick out your own. They don't know they're picking out their own horror, but they go down the basement, and it's all being controlled by a government. And it's so like deep in that way. And it has even, so they go downstairs and they even have like different things that, like, whatever the kids pick out, that'll be how they all die. And they even picked up something that had like Pyramid Head, and they even had a monster in it like Pyramid Head, but he had blades going through his head. It was still really cool. And they picked out instead like they picked out some a book or something, and it was about it was like hillbilly zombies. And again, if you like Silent Hill, the girl who plays in Silent Hill is in Cabin in the Woods, and she is one of the zombies, and they're killing everybody, and it's really, really bad. But then the last two heroes find out that this was all controlled by the government, and they somehow unleash all the monsters on the people that's been controlling them and destroying everything. But because they do that, the apocalypse comes, because they needed to sacrifice these kids, because that's how you stop the apocalypse. Is coming every, like, not Halloween, but every year is always coming. And that's how they do it, by sacrificing a certain group of people. And it's awesome. I love it. Oh, I got a phone call. Wait a second. Sorry about that, guys. So that's really awesome. So where am I at? So I gotta see. I'm losing track. Sorry about that. Silent Hill, 13 Ghosts, Cabin in the Woods. Yes. Number 4. My favorite, Hellraiser. Oh my goodness. Do not get me started in Hellraiser. I love it. But I'm going to pick out a certain one. I love the whole franchise, really. Pinhead is awesome. Doug Bradley is awesome. I love all of that. I even like the newest one that came out. But if I had to pick one to be number 4 in the Hellraiser franchise, and number 4 on my list of my favorite scaries, it would have to be, ironically, I believe it's Hellraiser 4. It's Hellraiser Bloodline. I believe it's the fourth movie. They've made so many movies, but I think it's the 4th one. And so Hellraiser Bloodline is so good. It takes it to outer space. Choking about something. But it takes Hellraiser to outer space, then all the way back to the past. You're basically learning how the Lament configuration box was made, who the family is who made it, and in the end, we kind of get to see how the end of the pyramid is. The end of the Pyramid Head is to be trapped in a giant Lament configuration box in outer space, because that's how it ends. Because, like, that's probably like our big future. We've in our future, we're supposed to like be able to go into outer space and like do space travel. And Pyramid Head's out there. Because of all that, he's out there in outer space down a giant one of his boxes. And it's good. It's a lot to kind of explain, but it's good. I would definitely recommend watching Bloodlust. Not Bloodlust. Do they have they probably got one called that, but I think it's called Bloodline. But really, watch all of Hellraiser, because it's awesome. I mean, well, not all of them, but at least 1, 2, 3, and 4 is awesome. But I personally love the whole series because I'm a fan. Number 5, It Follows. It Follows is the creepiest spooky movie I have ever seen in my life. It Follows is so creepy. That one was awesome. If you haven't seen that movie, check it out. I think you're going to really, really like it. It is about a venereal disease. It's kind of in its own weird way. It is the best movie for use protection ever, because it's basically, if hey, this girl, she gets this boyfriend, she like him, you know, and so she has relations with him, and all of a sudden, like, she's really into him, and All of a sudden she finds she's strapped to a chair. She's like, what's going on? And he said, listen, he said, I'm not gonna hurt you. I just gotta explain to you why I just put up on you. Because we slept together, this problem is yours now. And she's like, what? And it's just this person. It's a person. So this person's gonna follow you no matter where you go until it finally gets you. And oh, he been talking about giving the chills. It's so spooky. And he says it's gonna follow you no matter where you go. And that's that. And so he said, but you can pass it on. He said, you're a girl. He says you can pass it on, because you like, you're hot, you can pass it on. So in the end, like, not in the end, but it's a whole journey for trying to escape this thing, and this and it just walks. It don't drive, it don't catch no plane. The further you can get away from the last time you saw it, like, the better, but it just walks. And so like the first girl, it's a different girl in the beginning of the movie who's not the star, but she's in the beginning and she's like, I'm just going to give in. Like, she got the thing following her and she thinks like, I'm just gonna let it get me. I'm gonna just give in. Well, big mistake, because when you see her again, her leg is broken this way. She laying backwards, her leg like this. It was like, you should have kept running. It was so scary, and it just keeps coming. She at one time, even then, go back to the main character, she now traveled so far, and it took a month for this thing to walk to get her. But when it did, it grabbed her by her hair. It was going to tear her up. And the main thing this entity wants to do to a person is to have relations with them. Like, the way you got it is what it wants to do to you, but it does it to a person to death. And it's a bad death, and it's a weird death, and it's like, like, what is it? You don't know if it's a ghost, a demon, a ghoul. You don't know what this is, and only the person who's infected, only the people who are infected can see this thing. That's it. And it could be a man, a woman, an adult, like an old person, a young teen. It can do whatever it wants, but it's still coming to get you. It is so freaky. And in the end, the girl and the guy, they just decide, this guy who always liked her because she was never gonna give him a time of the day, but he decides to share it with her, this entity. And so they keep passing it back and forth, you know, and so they just it's like you kind of can think they can accept their fate. It's weird. And here's the thing also about this movie that I like as well. You can't tell what time period it's in. They go from having smartphones we don't even have, like flip phones, but there are smartphones, all the way to having like 1970 cars. It's very cool. It kind of reminds you, like, the look of it kind of gives you the Stranger Things feel. I think this came out before Stranger Things, so it's kind of got that feel, but it's actually like really, like, totally different, really scary. But it's got that kind of old-fashioned feel, but it's like you don't know what time period you in. Really good movie. It's number 5 for me. Number 6 would be Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat is a classic. It's not scary, but it is so, it's like, I have to watch it every Halloween. Like, I've already watched it already. Like, I shouldn't say every Halloween, but I should say every October. I've already seen some of it. It comes on TV now. It's not really, it's basically about almost like urban legends. It's a little cute trick or treat guy, and he's adorable, but he killing everybody. And he kills people for broken taffy, and it's really funny. I didn't watch the whole thing this year though, because I kind of was going back and forth. Now you play it on TV just to have it playing and have your family members watch it, but I didn't like really stay. I kind of like walked back and forth like, oh, it's good, and I kept leaving. But so I don't remember it super good, but it is so cute. And but it's violent. Like, don't get me wrong, it's extraordinarily violent, and it's got issues, and it's a little scary. It's got a little bit of zombies in it, a little bit of monsters, a little bit of ghouls. It's got a little bit of everything. It's the mixed bag of Halloween treats that I think everyone needs in their life in October. Really good. So that's number 6. Number 7 would be Insidious. I think y'all kind of knew I had to put Insidious on here. That's why I said this is not in any particular order, because Insidious really could have been number 1, number 2. I love Insidious a whole lot, especially 1 and 2 were excellent. I believe they had 3 and a 4 too. I saw 3. 3 is nice, but it doesn't make my list. But 1 and 2 was great. I didn't see 4. I think 4 was called The Keys, or Insidious Keys, or something like that. I didn't see that yet, but I want to see it. But I mean, I'll see it this Halloween. But I did most certainly see 1 and 2, and Insidious was a masterpiece. It was its own masterpiece. Loved it. It was so what they have so many places now. It's the Upside Down, Further, Other. Which one are we at now? I think this one is the Further. They introduced me to the Further. Dudes, that place is scary. So it's all jet black and terrifying. And that movie, I'm not going to talk about it. Like, I'm not that I don't want to talk about it. That's my video's already 16 minutes long, and I also feel like everybody's kind of like should go watch it. It's like, as so much going on. Basically, you know, I can't talk about it. A child gets possessed. They don't know where he is because he can astroplane. A demon is there who wants this child's body for himself to inhabit him. But all while that's happening, we got Psychic, we got this guy who also has the ability to astroplane like his son. But ironically, it's not a demon after him, but a ghost is after him, wants to possess his body, and in the end it does. But in part 2 it comes out, but so later on. But yeah, it's a great, awesome freaking movie. I love that one. I don't want to go into spoilers of that one too much, because that one, I feel like not everybody's seen all of that. Like the rest of the ones that I talked about before were so old, they're kind of like classics that everybody's already seen them. But this one, not sure about, so that's really, really good. That's definitely, check out Insidious. That's a good movie. Where am I at? So 8, The Haunting. The Haunting was so fun. The Haunting is a very old movie. Ironically, I haven't seen it in years, but I remember how much I loved it. The Haunting is it was scary for me, but it also gave me a love for old-fashioned houses. I love when the children it was like little kids carved into the wood, and they moved, and that was at the beginning of like CGI was not the way it is now, but it was like the kids moved with the siege with the house, and it was so much going on with the Haunting that I loved it. It was I now forgot all the details of it, but I know it's basically like a haunted house. It was good. It was really classic, and I gotta watch it now. That's fine. I put it on my list, but I have to watch it to like get into more details about it. But that was a good one. So The Haunting will be number 8 as one of my favorites. Number 9, The Conjuring. The Conjuring was freaking scary. That one was good, but it's like not to the point where I can't handle it. It was a really good one. The Conjuring is the one where the girl, what's the scary part that I don't want to give away, but I don't want to give it away because this one's kind of modern too. No, it's not it's not really what one might think of as a spooky movie, but I loved Krampus. Krampus was funny. So it was good though, and it was like kind of about Christmassy, but it was actually on the scary part. It was kind of scary. And it's about like the German legend of freaking Christmas, and instead of Santa Claus coming, if you're bad, usually they like, oh, Santa Claus gives him some coal. No, instead you get this monster, and he just comes doing whatever. I gotta watch the movie again. It's like Christmas movie and Halloween mixed up, like The Nightmare Before Christmas as well. So basically my whole top 10, I kind of made it way too long, added way too many movies. But as I said, I really, really love spooky movies. I'm not a fan of violent movies. I don't really care for that. I know some people love that genre, like Saw and all those. You're not going to find that on my list. Ironically, I do like Hellraiser, but it's kind of like silly violence. I don't like that real stuff. That stuff, I don't like real violent type of things. I don't care for that. But I do truly, really love like more ghost and spooky and make you think type of movies that make you like really like, oh, spooky, or wow, special effects, you know. So that's basically it. Please tell me in the comments what's your favorite horror movie, and if I missed any that are really, really good, because I'm looking for more scary movies to watch perhaps, and especially around the spooky season. And I will talk to y'all guys later. Okay, bye.